My name is Nugzar Ruhadze. I'm a journalist, and today I am going to talk to you about Georgia's historical mission. How pernicious is it for Georgia and Russia to be at daggers drawn as they are today? This question seems to be exceedingly quintessential for both nations in terms of figuring out who is losing what and who is gaining what out of the quagmire they have found themselves in. How come that a massive bear and a tiny bee have become such livid enemies to each other? Why a huge bear should be so outrageously determined to swat a little bee so strongly that the poor thing never again produce honey, or at least continue buzzing around. Historically speaking, the bear has made a preposterous number of attempts to do so, and the bee has made just as many comebacks, having proved to the world that it happens to be an extremely resilient insect. There must be a very deeply rooted feeling of resentment between the bear and the bee. As a matter of fact, they have always had some mean tricks up their sleeves against each other, and it should be not very surprising that the tricks are still there to be utilized at any convenient for them moment. One might say that the bear has gotten fed up with the bee, buzzing right into his ear and not giving him any honey. But the bee might also have tons of reasons to be irritated at the bear's brash and awkward moves and means. Certainly the bee has enough power to eliminate the bear with one swing of a paw, but the bee can also hurt him back. It is so funny that in this fight, those two incompatible sides seem to be so equal. Maybe the time has come that every member of the jungle knew the bear's true nature and the bee's veritable capabilities. The bear probably has a feeling in his bones that the bee, as miniature as it is, can sting it lethally, and the bee might have every reason to believe that this is its historical mission. Yes, it is Georgia's historical mission to teach Russia a lesson nobody has ever taught her in centuries. Georgia is no longer afraid of the Russian bear, and it is determined to find the way for turning Russia into a civilized player in the international family of the peoples of the world. The logic is on Georgia's side. The world clearly needs to have the bear tamed and behaving as a reasonable being. Otherwise, there will be no room for it to survive in the jungle. The sharpest and the surest tool for Georgia to fulfill its historical mission are its fairness and righteousness. Wisely and patiently, step by step, with no sudden moves, Georgia will achieve its goal of turning Russia from a bear into a dove of peace and let the world relax finally. Having a mission of that magnitude is a huge international responsibility which Georgia is not afraid to carry on its tiny shoulders. Time is ripe for the world to live in peace and understanding, and no nation has right to go against the newly created international mainstream. It will certainly take time for Georgia to draw the civilization's attention to the importance of its historical mission. In the meanwhile, the Georgian people, including every living generation, will have to learn how to live without Russia. See the next issue to understand why and how.